Hello y'all, Stormnicott here. I'm going to teach you guys how to read the radar because I've been getting asked on my Twitter, Facebook page on how to read the radar. I've also been getting asked in YouTube chats a lot, how do you read the radar? So I'm going to go in depth with that. We're going to start off with the three main radar products, reflectivity, velocity, and correlate coefficient. We're just going to do those three this video, and then we're also going to talk about the new outlet risks because people are having confused with that now when they release that update. But we're going to also talk about one of the radar products I also use to tell if there's tornado because people have been trying to find out how to tell if there's a tornado on the ground and how to tell if tornado is not on the ground but there's strong velocity in it. How do you know if there's also a wind burst? So we're going to dive into that right now. I will put timestamps in the description and timestamps in the description so you guys are able to skip around into the video. So we're going to start off with reflectivity. So right now for example, greens, light rain, and then once you get into the yellow area, that's some slight rain. Once you get to the orange, that's a little bit of a moderate rain. Then once you get to red, that's heavy rain. The heavy rain is pretty much, the strong part of the velocity. Now, we don't have hail with the storm, but the darker, let's say purple, because actually we can go to a different storm, if I can find one. Kind of starting to turn purplish here. Now, if we had some purple, we'd be seeing probably piece like here. Right now, what's happening is probably like unseeable hail that's just keep getting lost into the updraft. What that updraft is, actually, I'm going to talk about that real quick. What's the updraft is? It's the height of the storm. The clouds you see above the storm, that's basically what an updraft is. But with the hail, you'd be seeing purple for probably P size and then quarter size, or nickel to quarter size. P nickel quarter size, and then once you get to like the black dark velocity or black reflectivity, you begin a little bit of large hail, then a light bluish you see strong hail, and then white hail, and then the white part of reflectivity on my color table is probably about 4-inch hail. Now let's go ahead and dive into the velocity right now because we need to talk about that. That's like one of the main areas. So right here, we're going to use this storm, for example, because it has some broad rotation with it, so it's not going to be anything significant. But, for example, we got greens going towards the radar, and then we got reds going away from the radar. This also depends with the storm as well, or the radar as well. So, for example, with the Palm Bay radar, got greens on the bottom, reds on top, and right now we're looking at the top of the radar, up towards to the northeast of the radar. So we're seeing some broad rotation happening, not well-defined rotation at all whatsoever. But for example, I'm gonna go to a storm I was looking at over here. We can take a look at this, but there's a lot of contamination, so it's gonna be hard to explain. Contamination is basically radar being messed up with the radar set being messed up with the storm. So yeah, this is going to be kind of hard to explain. I'm going to see if I can find a different storm that I can explain well with. Because I don't want to talk with contamination. Okay. For example, here, we got some broad rotation right here, actually. So if this was lighter red, we'd be seeing a little bit of orange, blackish, a little bit close to black, and then greens. If that was strong, we'd probably be seeing light blue, dark blue, probably purple and pink. So, yeah, that's something you do want to worry about when you see something like that. We talked about one of my past videos from a couple days ago that had some strong rotation with it, and we were seeing that, and we were seeing at least 174 mile per hour gate to gate on radar. And here's an easy way to tell. Bam. You got some broad rotation still, but you got your hold on. So this is going away from the radar, so this is a different radar set too. Red's going away from the radar, green's going towards the radar. It also depends with what the radar. So if we was on the bottom, we'd be seeing green's going away from the radar, red's going towards the radar. But yeah, now we're gonna dive into correlate coefficient because this is how we tell if it's tornado on the ground. So we're gonna use, I don't know, this blob right here as an example. This would be if the tornado was on the ground. This would be minor debris getting lost in there, not that far up into the atmosphere. But let's say let's go to contamination because I like to use contamination as a area. Now let's say we were seeing something like this, dark blues, etc. You'd be seeing a large tornado on the ground that's lofting debris 12 to 25,000 feet into the air. Because when we see that, that means a large tornado is on the ground, potentially causing damage up to the EF2 to EF3 damage, higher than that, and that's when we know there's a strong tornado on the ground. Now, I'm going to also use a little bit of a radar color table that I use. So I'm gonna make sure we go back to the same storm. We can't really tell with this one, but I'm learning how to use this myself, but I'm pretty sure what this means. We got some rotation happening here. But yeah. Now let's go ahead and dive into the radar table that I was talking about, how I usually tell the tornado on the ground. Now let's say I'm going to use like this divot right here, for example. If you're seeing something like this, then yeah, there was tornado on the ground. But usually it's hard to tell because tornadoes are usually rain wrapped, etc. Now, yeah. Ooh, actually, hail. We can talk about the hail right here. Yeah, right here. Purple. Probably about penny to nickel size hail happening here, maybe pea size at least. We can't tell because again we're looking at probably about 8,000 feet up into the storm, so that it's hard to tell what's going on. But yeah, and oh wow, we just got something for a warning. I'm just gonna ignore that while I do this. Now let's go ahead and talk into our outlooks because a lot of people get confused with that. Now, marginal risk 1 out of 5, slight risk 2 out of 5, which I could. Here's a slight risk right down here for Tuesday's threat, but then orange enhance, moderate reds, and then high risk is purple. Now let's get into our tornado threat because a lot of people are confused with this. So let's say if this is significant, we'd be seeing dashed lines all over. And now let's say if this was 2% hatch 2 or sig 2, we'd be seeing dot lines and then something like this. I know my lines are straight, but yeah, be seeing something like that. So yeah, how long have we recorded for? Oops, sorry about that. Then our wind threat is actually the same thing. Be seeing the same thing like that if sig 1 dash lines and then sig 2 lines. And I don't know what sig 3 is. I've never seen sig 3 yet, so because we haven't really have a significant outbreak. And here, hail for example, sig 1 right here. See this dash lines, bam, bam, all over. That means sig 1 for probably about inch, 2 inch hail. So now if we would see that other lines, that'd be sig 2. And yeah, you definitely want to watch out when you see that because when we see it sig 2, that means a significant outbreak is going to happen. Now going back to tornado threat, yeah, if that was sig 2, we'd be saying violent tornadoes possible. But yeah, I think I covered everything for today. I will put a video right up here, so you guys can go watch that and you guys can check out my next video. I do also ask for you guys to subscribe because it helps me with the YouTube algorithm and gets me out there to many people as possible during severe weather outbreaks. We're also doing gaming streams while there's not really much going on. We'll be probably doing gaming stream later on today, so yeah. But as you guys are seeing this, I'll probably be uploading this around like this probably be uploaded for you guys around probably 2 p.m. ish. So yeah. But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Goodbye.